We are live on YouTube and TikTok. I'm not playing all those reindeer games and trying to get on Instagram and Twitch just yet. I've been using the free version of StreamYard. Um, anyway, want to go over who the top. Hey, Tyler, how are you? Want to go over who the top quarterbacks are in the NFL 2025 draft tonight. I know you see the book there. Obviously, I just published a book about a month ago, Dominating Your Fantasy Football in 2025, 26. Now, you'll probably say to me, wow, that was really great timing because the football season is over. But, you know, when in doubt, when you get the idea, you kind of like to do the thing. And that's where I was with this. So I did put together Dominating Fantasy Football in 2025, 26. It has actually a couple reviews on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. So please take a look. Search my name there. You can see my name in the cover of the book. You can use the QR code if you can see that right. But let's go through. Now, obviously, 1 and 2, the quarterbacks, excuse me, the quarterbacks for this NFL draft are kind of a fait accompli. I mean, we kind of know who they are. We know Cam Ward is probably, at least he's probably number 1 in the draft, but he's the number 1 quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is number 2. Now, is there a debate on, Jackson Dart 3? Maybe. I know that he was turning a lot of heads after the combine and things. So Jackson Dart, I have as 3. Then I have Quinn Ewers from Texas as my number 4. I have from the Crimson Tide, Alabama, Jalen Milroe at number 5. At number 6, I have Will Howard, quarterback from the Ohio State University. Number 7, I have Kyle McCord from Syracuse. Wow, I almost said Stanford, but that's orange. Number 8, from the Ducks, Oregon, Dylan Gabriel. Number 9 on my chart is Riley Leonard from the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. From the Hoosiers, I have Curtis Rourke. Number 11, Tyler Shaw from Louisville is my number 11. My number 12 is Donovan Smith from Houston. Now, when you start getting into like the 12th quarterback and things like that, you got to figure, hey, unless they really jump up on a team or a team is just perfect for them, they're probably going to be like a career backup. At number 13, I have Kevin Jennings from SMU. What are they? The Mustangs, right? And then at number 14, from my home state, Brady Cook from Mizzou. Hey, Blue Pug, how you doing tonight? We're just going over quarterbacks. And my number 15 is Max Brosmer from the Golden Gophers, Minnesota. All right. Let's look at some of these quarterbacks now. I did promise in all the information that I would be talking quarterbacks, and so why not go at it? Okay, so we know Cam Ward is the number 1. Hey, I'm doing good, Blue Pug. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Wherever you are, were you hit with any of the storms that came across over the last few days? About the last week, we got. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. We got hit with like a tornado here. Or parts of St. Louis got hit with a tornado. It was coming down really bad. I don't think my immediate area rather, got hit with any hail, but you never know. Caused a lot of damage a couple of weeks ago, the hail around here. So, all right. So number 1, hey, They Love Gray is here. How you doing, They Love Gray? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button, especially if you're on YouTube. Oh, that's bad. Hope you're okay. I'm doing fine. No big deal. My area didn't get hit too bad with the hail, so it was nice. Hey, Beto's here. Beto's here. All right, Beto. Hello. How are you? So as you guys know, getting back to the quarterbacks, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit follow on TikTok. Don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube. Oh, thank you very much, Blue Pug, for subbing. Now, I'm going to be on tomorrow night. I'm going to talk about tight ends. I know it's not the most interesting position in football. But last week were wide receivers and running backs. You can probably see those videos on my YouTube channel. It's at Sideline Fans on YouTube. All right. So, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are 1 and 2 in the quarterbacks. Some are saying Shedeur could be 2 or 3. Cam Ward's probably number 1 in the draft. Then it really is who's going to be number 3, who's going to be number 4. I'm saying Jackson Dart is 3. Quinn Ewers from Texas is number 4, and Jalen Milroe from Alabama is number 5. So these are guys that might all go in the first round. Sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? Sweet potato pie, Maria Garcia. How are you, Maria Garcia? Is Maria Garcia a Nathaniel person? Excellent. Oh, thank you. Beto is one of the folks who bought the book, The Dominating Fantasy Football in 2025-26. So please follow his advice. It's an excellent book and would love for you guys to pick it up. So that's never a problem. But, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, he's 6'2". Quinn Ewers, 6'2". Jalen Milroe. Actually, now we all know people fudge on their height with these things, but Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, and Jalen Milroe are all 6'2". Then my number 6, Will Howard from The Ohio State University, is 6'4". So, is there a big difference between 6'2", 6'4"? Probably 2 inches. There's a little bit. Frisbo, Dart will definitely go ahead of Sanders. Owners don't like the Sanders stock. Wow. Okay. That's quite a claim, because I'm still hearing that Shedeur's probably, at 2 or 3, depending upon what they really decide on. But that's fine. I mean, look, a little controversy, especially when it comes to the draft, is always a good thing. It's never a bad thing. You want people talking about it. One of a couple of the tallest guys here, Curtis Rourke from Indiana, 6'5", Tyler Schauf from Louisville, 6'5", Donovan Smith from Houston, 6'5". So quite a difference there. Those are the 3 tallest guys in my top 15. And I only bring that up because, everybody always talks about how quarterbacks should be 6'4", 6'5", and all that other kind of good stuff. But when you talk about speed, all right, in the top 5, they're all 6'2", but the fastest is Jalen Milroe. He ran a 4.4 on the 40. So he's one of the fastest guys out there. So what does that say? People are saying he's one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the draft. And so, he's going to be one of those types of guys who probably can win ball games with his legs. Kind of a Jaden Daniels-esque sort of player, maybe a little underrated because of the speed. I mean, you look at the top, 4 picks in the draft, or roughly the 4 picks. Cam Ward, they're all 6'2". Cam Ward runs a 4.87. Shedeur runs a 4.68. Jackson Dart runs a 4.85. And Quinn Ewers runs a 4.74. Jalen Milroe, running that 4.4, has exceptional speed compared to all these other guys. So that's a big difference maker. I mean, Milroe, I might have said Milrose. Milroe is one of the fastest in this class, actually. I'm just going through the times on the top 15 for. Yeah, he is the fastest. So, that's got to stand for something. I could see where maybe he's not the 5th quarterback. Maybe he's the 4th. Maybe he's the 3rd. Maybe he's the 6th, somewhere in there. But he could very well go in the first day. Dart will definitely go. Okay. Frisbo, I think Ward and Sanders go top 6. I think Ward and Sanders go top 6 too. They're even saying they might go like top 3, those 2 guys. Feel like Milroe might be better than Sanders. Milroe was actually recruited higher. Yeah, I mean, I can honestly see that. I can honestly see that. Now, do we have Milroe is 225, Sanders is 215. I don't think that's that big of a difference. Milroe, okay. Sanders is what people are calling, hey, Daniel Berries, yo, what's up, my man? He's a high ceiling kind of prospect. Could be a franchise type quarterback. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Shador, Milroe played in more important games, yeah. Well, and he played for bigger schools. I mean, you got to remember Shador was playing for Jackson State 2 years ago. Um, you know, they weren't a powerhouse. They weren't getting all everybody's best. I mean, Alabama, week after week, everybody wants to beat them. I mean, Alabama's kind of like, the Super Bowl team. Everybody wants to knock them off because that's a big deal, even with a different head coach. So, I mean, there's a lot of pressure for the Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. But why I say Milroe could go higher. Milroe played in more important games. Well, yeah, no, I mean, he could go higher. Let's face it. I mean, the as I've said 1,000 times, the NFL draft is really a crapshoot. I've lived long enough to see Ryan Leaf get selected, and numerous other players be selected in the first round, first pick, all of that, and be complete and utter busts, or what was it in 83? I mean, I'm that old. In 83 in the draft. I mean, look at the people that was Marino Elway, all those guys, but there was somebody in between who with the Jets who just never really panned out. I mean, it really is a crapshoot. There used to be a commercial, I think, on ESPN, might have been with Jim Rome, talking about how the NFL is the biggest crapshoot in all of sports, and I really do think that's the case because there's so much attention for it. It weighs so much on contracts. They get paid a lot, all of that kind of stuff, and I think that that's the real difference maker. That heightens, if you will. That's why I like stories of Tom Brady, Joe Montana going in, multiple rounds after the first round, multiple or later rounds are always important. Like, how did pick this flower out of the entire, how did you find this needle in a haystack, if you will? It's also why, Purdy's a big deal because he was Mr. Irrelevant, but he wasn't so irrelevant. So those are always important things as well. The way I look at the draft for the quarterbacks is we've heard a lot about Cam Ward. We hear a lot about Sanders. Dart is raising a lot of eyebrows, getting a lot of attention. Jalen Milroe, whenever you play for Alabama, it's almost like playing for like an NFL team, at least when it comes to attention and games that are nationally televised and significant. So I completely agree with you, Frisbo, on that. I mean, those are the Ohio State, Will Howard. I mean, that's another one. The Ohio State and Alabama are like almost professional teams. And, Shedeur Sanders playing, some of the teams that Colorado faced, they're not big time. They're not SEC per se, So yeah, you're right about that, Frisbo. I would agree with you on that. So, but let's just look at, what do you think of day one? Is there any surprises here? Do you think that there's going to be any quarterbacks? Okay, Stephen Paul, I think the route New York chose was awfully wrong. Russ and Jameis over Sanders. Do they think Cleveland will take him? Well, that's a great question because I don't really understand the Russ and Jameis, and they have DeVito. Now, I don't know that I would love to have DeVito as my starting quarterback, but I don't know that I would love to have Jameis Winston as my starting quarterback or Russell Wilson. It's like they collect a bunch of middling guys to fill out one spot, and who's going to get, who's going to be their top guy when all's said and done? That's my worry about it. I mean, are you going to put in are you going to, like, if you make the decision to put Jameis Winston in, all right, are you going to be excited about that? Are fans going to show up to the games because Jameis Winston is your starting quarterback? I mean, Jameis Winston, I think, got a lot of love from a younger generation, like my son. He's 16 going on 17. Those interviews he did during the Super Bowl or, media day and around the Super Bowl, if you will, he loved it. My son loved it. He's like, this guy's a character. He's so funny. He's fun. He's all this other kind of stuff. But how does that relate to really being a quarterback? Cleveland didn't even rely on him last year, to be the quarterback. So what makes me think that the Giants will? I don't think once they signed Russell Wilson, I don't think Jameis Winston is going to be competing for that starting job. And I believe Russell Wilson got a lot more money. I mean, Jameis is making what, I don't know, 2 or 3 million a year or something like that, something in the single digits. So I just, they're not investing in him. So anyway, I just think that I think New York is completely screwed. I think there's a good chance that the Giants could sign Shedeur. I think Cleveland might go with Abdul, might go with the defenseman. I think Tennessee picks Cam Ward. And then it's really kind of like what happens with New England. And then you have really good running backs. Don't forget everybody to hit that follow button on TikTok. Don't forget to hit subscribe over on YouTube. Hit that like button a lot. We're getting some likes. We have 209. Can we get to 500? How do you think Travis's career will unfold in New England, assuming they take him? Cleveland will take him, right? Yeah. Look, here's the deal. I don't know how I think it's going to be a couple of years before New England is relevant again. So, they have to make some headway this year for him to be relevant, for anyone really to be relevant with New England. They just were not a very good team. And when you're not a very good team, you're not going to win. You're not going to get any exposure. And, you're going to have a real tough time beating anybody. And that's the problem in my mind, with anybody. So I just think that I didn't like anything New England did last year. And I know they obviously got a new head coach. They signed Travis Hawkins, defensive back, but they need more than that. They're not one player away. They're 10 players away. They're 11 upgrades away at least, so they will probably make him play full-time corner. Oh, you mean, wait a second. You're talking, oh yeah. You're talking about Travis Hunter. Okay. Yeah, I think Travis Hunter. Here's the thing. And I said this, I think, last week when we went over wide receivers. He probably can make a lot more money as a wide receiver than he can as a cornerback. So from a financial standpoint, boy, it looks really good to be a wide receiver. Okay. But then you think of like his mentor, I guess, you would say for Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Hey, good evening, Tyler Nickerson. How are you doing today? They have Peppers and Jabril. Kind of was the same player as Trav. So if he wants to set himself apart and maybe not make as much money as quickly, but over time could make a lot more, just a tremendous cornerback. Okay. He could stay as a cornerback and kind of emulate Deion, if you will. All right. Shut down corner, those kinds of things. But they pay a lot of money to wide receivers. If I was in that same scenario, I would say I want to be a wide receiver because that's where the money is. All right. But this, Hunter does look like a type of guy who takes on challenges. I mean, you don't play two-way if you're not taking on challenges. There's no doubt about that. So I could see where he wants to be a great cornerback. And he might forego that. They're not going to allow him to spend more than like 10% in one of those other positions. I just don't think they can. Okay, let's see. Frisbo, doing all right. You, Tyler, I'm doing pretty good. Vrabel interview doesn't sound like he wants a two-way player and said he should focus on one position. Well, he has to. It's the NFL. Jabril Peppers played safety at Michigan with some plug-in plays on offense now at New England. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even when Deion Sanders was, in as a wide receiver or scat back, whatever the heck it was back in the day, or whatever they called it. Yeah, I think I mean, if I were Travis Hunter, I would just be a wide receiver because I can be a wide receiver. I'm fast enough to be a wide receiver, and that's where the money is. Okay. So I would want to be a wide receiver. However, sort of what Beto's saying here, I mean, obviously they want him to be a wide receiver for Drake May. They want that connection. Drake's a young guy. Hunter's a young guy, obviously. They can have that connection for many, 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 many years to come, which would be tremendous for both of them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, he's definitely an asset on defense. Stephen Paul Hunter the third. Yeah, he's definitely what they might do, okay, if you think about it, as you talking about, somebody was talking about Peppers, okay? They may, let's say that he becomes a wide receiver. If there's a big play, a big fourth down, somebody's going for fourth or third down and long, that kind of stuff, they may put him in that play, you know, with, maybe the offense has 5 wideouts or something like that, and they put him in the play. I can see that. I don't think he's going to spend 50% this, 50% that. I don't think it's going to be 60-40. I don't think it's going to be 70-30. 80-20, 85-15, yeah, 90-10, probably it. He may go in a defense for 5 plays a game or something like that, whatever that percentage would be. Yeah, I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, he is a great player, and it's kind of nice to have options, I guess, in a lot of ways. But I just don't think in the NFL, because they invest so much money, and it's all about winning in the NFL. I mean, you can beat up your neighbors, you can do all these things, and they're going to sign you if you're fast enough. If you can catch the ball, if you can throw the ball, they're probably going to sign you. You look at somebody like Trevor Bauer in baseball, who nobody in Major League Baseball will sign him. If he was an NFL player, he should go out for quarterback. Somebody would have signed him by now. I mean, think about it. Unless they're banned from the sport, but somebody would have signed him by now. It just doesn't happen in the NFL. And I'm not saying that Travis Hunter has done anything horrible. Don't forget on TikTok to hit that follow button, guys. And on YouTube, hit that subscribe. Would love to get you guys some information as to when I'm live and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, I will be talking about Travis is so long. Yeah, with Beto. Tomorrow, I'll be talking about tight ends. Maybe it's a little bit more narrow, the tight ends, obviously. I think running backs, they're deep. Wide receivers aren't bad. Quarterbacks not bad. A lot of big names with the quarterbacks are bigger names. And then next year you have Arch Manning. I believe Bo Nix has tremendous potential. I didn't see this coming. Denver could be scary. Denver needs a running back. What are some running back needy teams? Raiders, Bears, Denver. The Chargers signed Najee, right? Rams have Kyron. Seattle might need somebody. What's his face is getting old. There could be running back in Seattle. I could, maybe not this year, but next year. And even, dare I say, Mixon getting a little long in the tooth. They re-signed what's his face in Minnesota. Green Bay has a great running back. You said the Bears, right? Yeah, the Bears definitely. Denver definitely. The Raiders, yeah, definitely. Are there anything on the east of the Mississippi? I think the Giants are okay. The Jets are good. I almost said Curtis Martin, but the Jets are fine. Big running back draft. You can get good backs in the second. Yeah, Frisbee, I believe that to be the case. Now, I think GT is the class of the field, but look, don't make a bet based on that from what I'm saying, because I have no idea about that. But he just looks really, really fun to watch. Like, I saw a video of him jumping people like Saquon Barkley and all that other kind of stuff, and it was pretty impressive. So I'm really looking forward to that guy running. and watching him play. Hopefully he'll have the season I think he's going to have. But all right, big running back draft. Okay, Genty, Hampton may go first round. Yeah, I think Genty definitely goes first round. Hampton might. Yeah. Let me see real quick. Who did I have? I don't even remember last week. So running back. Let's just talk running back real quick. People will jump on and be like, they're talking running backs. Oh, no. Genty, Hampton, yeah. Johnson, Henderson. I could see them all going in the first. I mean, Dylan Sampson. I mean, you look at somebody like Hampton. He's 6 foot. He runs a 4.46. He's 220 pounds. That is a big, fast running back. 220, 6 foot, and runs a 4.46. I mean, he might actually be, he might even be better than Genty. Genty's 5'9" and a 4.42. Hampton has him by 3 inches or 2 inches. I mean, everybody lies about their height in these things, but I knew basketball players that are always an inch or two taller. They say that Charles Barkley was like 6'7" or something. He was probably like 6'5". I mean, that's what everybody always used to say. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, 5'9", 215 with Genty, 220, 6 foot. Hampton, Johnson, 6 foot, 225, big boy, but he runs a 4.57, so a little bit slower than Genty and Hampton. Henderson runs a 4.43 and he's 5'10", but he's 208, so he's lighter. And then you have Dylan Sampson, who's only 201. There's one guy I had in here. He's 196. Brashard Smith, 5'10", 196, but he runs a 4.39. Oh, God. I wish I had that speed. You can't coach speed, huh? They're comparing Caleb Johnson to Arian Foster. Yeah. Yeah, he's a big guy, a little bit slower than everybody. So we'll have to see. Like, what does that relate to in the NFL? Yeah, Stephen Hunter the third, Stephen Paul. Yeah. Okay, let me go. Genty Hampton. Okay, for some reason, I think Genty will be an average NFL player. No hate. I like the guy, just don't. Yeah, I mean, 5'9's a little tough for a running back because your linemen are so big, But I don't know. You're looking at holes. You're looking at holes in the lineup. You're not looking necessarily over people unless maybe you're getting a pass or something like that. So I don't think height is as big of a deal with running backs, but yeah, you could be right. Now he is 215. He's shorter, but he's still one of the heavier guys, so that could help him out. But yeah, I could see that, some of those littler runners, shorter runners sometimes but let's see. They're comparing. Okay. I fear Ollie Gordon's stock continues to dip. Well, let's see. Let's see here. Let's see if they tell me anything about his stock. Hold on one second. Ollie Gordon. Where are we at with Gordon? See, I don't. Yeah, Ollie Gordon. I had him number 18, 225, 6'2", taller. He runs a 4.61. Well, they're looking at him as early yardage, short down, or short yardage. Early down, short yardage kind of running back. So he might not be an every down running back. So, but here's the thing. The coach might see him and use him on every down, I mean, the other thing to think about is we saw a lot of players get full-time experience like Jamar Gibbs this year, and he did fantastic when Montgomery was injured. And look at Bucky Irving. They had that 2, sometimes 3-headed monster in Tampa Bay. He put up really good numbers there for a bunch of weeks. And even somebody who now has Chuba Hubbard, they signed, oh God, Carolina signed, they just signed somebody, Carolina running backs. Rico Dowdle, that's who it was. I can't believe Dallas let him go. I just don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. What? Oh, here we go. Yeah, Rico Dowdle. I thought Rico Dowdle was really putting up some good numbers. Okay, oh, okay, I must be glitching. Okay, let me get caught up here. Some of the chats that are on TikTok. Nobody over on YouTube is saying much. All right. Hit rates on 10 drafted running backs are 100%. Wow. Fairly good. Hit rates on top 10 drafted running backs are 100%. Genty, Hampton, Henderson, Judkins, and Kay Johnson can all be starting bell cows. Yes, I agree with that 100%, Beto. All the other running backs after those guys will probably be in a committee. Yes. Some of it is what team picks them. They might be in like some of those guys could be the number one, but they might be in a committee depending upon who picks them up. Which quarterback makes the biggest jump this year, you think? Dude, I think Bryce Young. I think you'll be talking about Bryce Young this year. Bucky Irving saved my season. Yeah, Bucky Irving had a great season, especially obviously towards the end. I was very impressed with what he did. We'll see how it translates into this year, because they really haven't lost anybody, and they have McMillan and they have the three-headed monster with the wide receivers. So I think their offense, as long as Baker Mayfield can, keep his head on straight, and play well, they're going to be a good team. There's no doubt about that. They really are, and it'll be interesting to really look at their defense. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any great signings they have on defense, but maybe some people will be, improving. Gotta watch these rankings. Mel Kiper won't even get 6 picks correct. Yeah, Mel Kiper. I'm not saying that I'm like Mel Kiper, that I'm better than Mel Kiper or anything like that, but Mel Kiper really gets things wrong. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's like a Major League Baseball player for draft picks. Like, if he gets 30% right, that's good. Like, it's totally crazy with Mel Kiper, and they've left him there forever. Davante Adams season, 100%. I think Davante Adams, going over to the Rams, like, it's almost like the Rams knew what they were doing when they got rid of, not Nakua, Rams quarterback it's almost like the Rams knew what they were doing though when they got rid of him. Cooper Kupp. There we go. Duh. Yeah, Kupp. Thank you. Sometimes I'm so worried about what I'm going to say next. Oh, thank you, Beto, for the additional lightning bolts. And I like your videos, by the way. Beto has great videos. He has a video. I think you posted today, you dancing. I meant to comment, but I was in the middle of something. Like, I was at picking something up, and I forgot to get back to it, but I wanted to say it looks good, man. You got moves. I don't have moves like that. I wish I had moves like that. So don't forget that follow button. Don't forget on TikTok. Don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube. Let's see. Any other quarterback stuff that we want to talk about? I mean, is there any quarterback that like you guys see coming from left field, sort of, like somebody experts, somebody like I picked like Riley Leonard from Notre Dame that's just going to be, like he's going to be great. Well, what they say about him is that he is physical, he has talent, but that he's not really doesn't play as high as the NFL is going to expect. Okay. Like I could see someone like Tyler Shaw from Louisville, because he plays in like a structured offense, where if he gets a structured kind of coach, he might really benefit in that. But once you get out of sort of the top 5 quarterbacks, that they'll likely pick, most like 6 through 10, 6 through 15, whenever they pick, they're probably not going to start right away. You know, it'll probably be a year or two. I mean, look at Jordan Love in Green Bay. I mean, he was behind Rodgers for a couple years. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how long some of these guys take. You know, if Shedeur Sanders goes to the Giants, does he start right away? Or do they go with Wilson or Winston? Thoughts on Stroud? Hold on, I'll get there in a second. Wasn't snowing, Rams beat Philly. Yeah. If it wasn't snowing, yeah. I mean, the Rams played really well. I will say this, and I've said this before, and I'm just going to repeat myself. The Rams did something weird with Cooper Kupp towards the end of the season. They stopped targeting him, and then they released him. It was almost like a setup in my mind. I don't really believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, but it was almost like, oh, we don't want him on our team. We want something else. We want Nacua to be the clear number one. Something behind, something inside baseball was going on. He went from putting up, 17 points, whatever it might be, to like 2. And he wasn't injured, or they never reported an injury, and he wasn't being targeted. His targets went down by 50% or something like that. So anyway, okay, thoughts on Stroud. Look, Stroud's got to have a bounce back season. If he has the same season he had last year, that's going to be kind of scary for him. I'll be really honest with you. I obviously I think he's a good quarterback. Hopefully this season, I'm just looking up his numbers. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Wikipedia isn't going to help me out. Okay, here we go. Okay, so he had in 23, he had 319 completions out of 499. He had a completion percentage of 63.9. Let's see. I want to say that he was 9-6. Last year he was 10-7, so about the same. He actually had more completions and almost 400 yards less passing last year than he did the year before. The big difference is his touchdown passes were at 20 last year. The year before, 23. Last year, 2 years ago, he had 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Pretty good ratio. You'd hope maybe he would get a few more, but I know that let's just see. Do we have rushing touchdowns? Okay, so he had 23 and 5 touchdowns to interceptions in 23. He had 20 to 12 last year. He had 12 interceptions, 20 touchdowns. Now let's look at his rushing. Oh God. Okay, rushing receipt. Rushing. He had how many touchdowns? Last year, rushing. He had 0 touchdowns. The year before, he had 3. So he had a much better season last year. I would hope that he has a bounce back season. Now, the question really is what happened to Mixon late in the season? Is that going to continue with him? Is he a little long in the tooth? Is he getting a little too old? That's one of my fears. All right. They lost Diggs. They have Nico Collins. How's he going to do in the passing game? How's the passing game an improvement over last year? That's my question. His numbers sagged. He had a total of 26 touchdowns 2 years ago and 5 interceptions. Last year, he had 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Now, I say 26. 3 of those were rushing touchdowns in 23. So that's the way I'm looking at it. He's got to have a bounce back season, but let's look at where are we at here? Depth charts for Texans. All right, here we go. Okay. So we have Nico, John Mechie, who I think had a couple. Oh, Christian Kirk, Tank Dell. Okay. Mechie had a couple good weeks. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Tank Dell. Tank Dell has to. A lot of people like Tank Dell. I heard a lot about Tank Dell all season last season, but I don't know if he's the real deal. Looks like Christian Kirk is the number 2 wide receiver. Okay, regular season. He had 667 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he had 600. He had 51 receptions on 81 targets. His average was 13.1 yards, so not bad. They're going to have to use him more. He's going to have to come up bigger. When there were injuries to Diggs and Collins and all that, he got injured though, right? Wasn't he the one that had that horrible injury in the end zone from what I'm remembering? So hopefully he can come back. Won't be surprised if Texans draft a wide receiver as well or running back in the later rounds. Yeah, I think Texas probably does pick a wide receiver. Maybe not in the first round, but maybe in the second. They have to go offense because you got to figure that Joe Mixon. Let's see here. Mixon's been around. And so let's just see here. Yeah, he's been around obviously with Cincinnati since 2017. He did have 1,000 yards last year, but let's see. Do we have game to game? Where's the game to game? Splits. Do I have to go there? No. That's all that other weirdness. Game log. There we go. So like Mixon was torching everybody. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you look at Mixon week 1, 159. These are all rushing. 25. 102, 115, 102, 106, 46, 109, 22, 101. Then from starting at December 15th through the end of the season, he had 23, 57, 26, 23. He was a ghost. So yeah, hot streak picks. Yeah, I mean, I think that Mixon, they're going to have to really, yeah, Beto, I would agree with you 100%. They're definitely going to draft a running back in the late rounds because they can't have that to end the season again. They're not going to make the playoffs with that. And there's a lot of question marks at wide receiver. Yeah, I do think they're going to get a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. I mean, it would make sense in my mind for them to get a wide receiver because Christian Kirk isn't great shakes. We know Nico Collins is great. Can Tank Dell recover from that injury and be as good as he was? I mean, sometimes these guys, hot streaks. Emeka Egbuka. I knew you were going to ask a name like that. I was talking about him last week. Last week I went over wide receivers. Let's just see here. What do I have them? Yeah, I had him at, I believe, if I can read my handwriting right. Yeah, I had him in the top 5. He's relatively fast, a 4.45, so not bad. Kind of middling in the speed. So apparently, I guess he doesn't run the greatest of routes, or he's not as polished as some of the other wide receivers, and that might hurt him in the NFL. So he'll really have to work for that going forward. Emeka. But 6'1", not bad. 205, not bad. 4.45, like I said, that's middling. A lot of people are picking him higher even. I had him at, I believe, 4, but people are picking him higher. So, it's one of those things. They picked 25. Wait a second. Where am I going here? I am all over the place. Tankathon. What is this? They picked 25. What? Something is wrong with my internet. This is annoying. Sorry about that, guys. Come on. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's really slow. But I don't think I'm glitching quite yet. Oh, Houston. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah, I mean, he could be around by that, because you figure you might have 4 running backs, you might have 4 quarterbacks, that's 8. You'll have 4 defensive players, that's 12. You'll have 4 wide receivers, that's 16. You might have 2 tight ends, that's 18. Maybe you have 2 more wide receivers, that's 20. He'll be sort of in there. I don't know. It depends on how much they value him. If he'll be available for Houston is what I'm thinking. It really depends on that. So, hey, Nathaniel's here. Don't worry about it. You were at the Yankees game. Duh! Yankees win. Did the Yankees win? All right. So yeah, I think Emeka could be. I think he could be there for Houston. You know, a lot of it depends on where they. It's one thing to say they need this player. It's another thing to say they value this player. So somebody might need a quarterback, but they may pick a defensive back because they're going with the best player, you know, the best athlete at number 12 or whatever their pick is. So, I mean, that happens all the time. And let's face it, there's a lot of NFL teams that can get better defensively. I don't know what it is, but it just seemed like, I mean, the offense teams had were so much better than the defense. What happened to this page? All right, let's go here. Yeah. So we have, oh, what is this? The Tankathon. I don't know what this is. This is just a page I pulled up. Their mock draft, and this isn't too wrong, I don't think, because we were kind of talking about this. Number 1, Cam Ward. Number 2, Abdul Carter. Number 3, Shedeur Sanders. Then you have so many quarterbacks with the Giants. Okay, so number 4, Tennessee, Cam Ward. Number 2, the Browns, Abdul Carter. Number 3, the Giants, Shedeur Sanders. Number 4, and I haven't done this yet because the draft is still like 2.5 weeks away. Number 4, Travis Hunter and New England. Number 5, Jacksonville, Mason Graham, defensive lineman. Number 6, the Raiders, Ashton Jeanty. Number 7, Armand Membu, offensive tackle from Missouri. I should know that name better. 8 is Tet McMillan, wide receiver. Number 9, I mean, you're already looking at Abdul Carter. I'm not going to count Travis Hunter. Mason Graham, Membu, Will Johnson, number 9 for the Saints, and number 10, he's saying Will Campbell, offensive tackle, inside offensive lineman. So that's 5 people that aren't in fantasy points right there. And we haven't even gotten to, we've only gotten to 1 wide receiver. We've only gotten to, or 2 with Travis Hunter. I'm sorry. We've only gotten to Ashton Jeanty. So yeah, I mean, I think somebody like Emeka could be around for Houston at number 25. All right, everybody. I'll be on tomorrow night around 9:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central, talking tight ends or any other football that you want. Don't forget to hit that follow button on TikTok, subscribe button on YouTube, and hit that like button. Thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate it a lot as I sort of have my off season. And I will talk to you all, see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.